Why Angel Reese would rather pay fines than face media. The WNBA star's unfiltered confession about media anxiety exposes a deeper crisis in sports journalism. Why Angel Reese would rather pay fines than face media. The WNBA star's unfiltered confession about media anxiety exposes a deeper crisis in sports journalism. The anatomy of media anxiety. Before tip-off, while most players visualize plays or review scouting reports, Reese is preoccupied with something entirely different, dreading the questions that might come afterward. She acknowledged feeling terrified about what reporters might ask before games even begin. The mental calculus she performs isn't about basketball strategy. It's damage control. Are reporters genuinely curious? Or hunting for clickbait? That uncertainty has transformed routine media obligations into high-stakes performances where one misplaced word could define her narrative for weeks. This wariness has shaped her media strategy dramatically. She's drawn clear boundaries, refusing podcast invitations and limiting interactions to broadcast outlets where live formats offer less room for selective editing. She expressed concern about how easily her words could be manipulated, articulating a fear that resonates across professional sports, particularly among younger players navigating social media's unforgiving glare. When silence costs money. The most tangible manifestation of Reese's media mistrust came after a contentious matchup where teammate Chendi Carter delivered a hard foul on Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark. Cameras caught Reese applauding from the bench, a moment that instantly became evidence in the ongoing narrative about their supposed rivalry. Rather than face reporters' questions, Reese skipped the mandatory press conference entirely, accepting the $1,000 fine without hesitation. For her, that financial penalty represented something simpler: control. She couldn't control how her words might be twisted, but she could control whether she spoke at all. The incident encapsulates a broader tension in women's basketball, where rising visibility has brought increased scrutiny without increased understanding. The Reese-Clark storyline, largely constructed through indirect comments and social media analysis, has followed both players relentlessly despite their limited direct interaction. The voice that won't be silenced. Despite her media reservations, Reese has never lacked opinions. Within her team's ecosystem, she's refreshingly direct about what the Chicago Sky needs to succeed. She's emphasized being outspoken about her expectations and the team's requirements for improvement. This creates an interesting paradox. Reese advocates loudly within controlled environments while retreating from unpredictable media spaces. Her fear isn't about having opinions, it's about how those opinions get repackaged beyond her control. A systemic problem. Reese's experiences illuminate structural issues within sports media, particularly affecting women athletes and athletes of color. The pressure to perform athletically while managing a carefully curated public image creates exhausting dual responsibilities. When misrepresentation feels inevitable rather than exceptional, trust evaporates. Sports journalism's evolution toward engagement-driven content has intensified this dynamic. Headlines optimized for clicks sacrifice nuance for provocation. Context gets stripped away. Thoughtful responses become sound bites. Athletes become characters in narratives they didn't write and can't revise. For emerging stars like Reese, who entered professional ranks in an era of instant commentary and perpetual content cycles, the media landscape resembles a minefield. Every interview carries risk. Silence carries penalties. It's an impossible calculus pushing athletes toward alternative strategies. Podcasts they control, social media they curate, documentaries they executive produce. What comes next? Reese's candor presents an opportunity. Her willingness to articulate these fears publicly creates space for honest conversation about reforming athlete-media relationships. What if mandatory press conferences included better training for both parties? What if leagues implemented clearer guidelines around contextual reporting? The current system serves neither group particularly well. Athletes feel exploited. Journalists feel stonewalled. Fans receive content that often obscures more than reveals. Meanwhile, the WNBA's remarkable growth moment, driven partly by personalities like Reese, risks being undermined by the very tensions meant to generate interest. As Reese continues ascending in professional basketball, her second season establishing her as one of the league's most compelling figures, her story deserves attention beyond gossip. It's a call for evolution in how sports journalism approaches its subjects, with more empathy, less sensationalism, and genuine commitment to accuracy over virality. The question isn't whether she'll eventually feel comfortable facing reporters. It's whether the media environment will evolve enough to deserve her trust.